Hello, Colonial hockey fans. Tim Benz and Mike Prisuta, your broadcast team for RMU men's hockey on Flow Hockey and Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Glad that you're with us. Pleased to be joined, as always, by Derek Schooley, the head coach of the RMU hockey team. Derek, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
All right. So,
Cold.
Yeah, no doubt. Really cold.
I know Mike is refreshed, not calling a hockey game last night. I ended up calling a basketball game as a result for the second time of you guys trying to get this Canisius game off the ground in a midweek hockey game. Weather has not cooperated twice in a row now. What's the latest for folks who want to see that game? Has it been rescheduled for next Tuesday?
Yes, next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Canisius, third time's a charm. Three strikes, you're out. All that stuff. I joked with their coach, Trevor Large, that every time they cancel, they lose a point. So it's a 3-point game. We're only playing for a point next Tuesday. But just they tried to leave early, and the bus driver got caught in his car in the snow, and then couldn't get there on Monday night. And then they had 18 or so inches in South Buffalo, down by Orchard Park, and next thing you know, you got another canceled hockey game.
Well, seriously, Derek, like what goes into the logistics of scheduling, rescheduling? How does that work with you guys, the opponent in the league?
Well, it's to reschedule it, we just have to come to a date. We've got to work with our arena. We've got to. This date worked well because they were at Penn State and we were at home. Next Tuesday doesn't work as well for them because of they're at AIC, but they play in the afternoon on Saturday, so that won't be as bad. But you just try to find a common date that helps everybody and puts everybody in the right scenario. The nice thing yesterday, 2 weeks ago, it was really challenging because, or I guess 2 Tuesdays ago, was really challenging because the guys were starting to show up at the rink. You guys had, Tim, I know you had made it to the rink. Mike, you were on your way. At least this one, we got out of the way early. We were able to reschedule our practice time, go early. We're sick of doing scouting reports on Canisius, so that's for sure.
Well, I'm just happy I wasn't on I-79 in a blizzard going 5 miles an hour in bumper-to-bumper traffic when I got the word the game was canceled. But presumably you'll get around to playing it eventually, and it's going to still be part of this stretch of 7 consecutive home games. You have Army coming up this weekend. Army is the 5th-place team in Atlantic hockey. You guys are 4 points behind Army, but with 2 games in hand. You are 1 point behind Canisius. They've got a game in hand on you, trying to at least stay in 8th place, but possibly get up to 5th. And Derek, I know that was one of your goals at the start of the season, get in that first round bye territory for the Atlantic hockey postseason. I'm not sure how realistic I thought that was after last season, but Colonial's right in the thick of it. What's gotten you there?
Well, we can play with anybody, and I think we've got the confidence to play with anybody. I think the problem that we're having is we still have a little bit of youthful inconsistency. And I think you saw my frustration after the first period on Saturday night. I think you said something about Mrs. Lincoln in the play. But other than that, I think we've got a mix of old guys contributing, younger guys contributing. You still have to remember we had 22 freshmen and sophomores. But in this day and age, just because you have 22 now doesn't mean you're going to have the same exact returning next year because of numerous things, because of NIL, because of the portal, because people decide mutually beneficial for them to go other places. So, I mean, it's a lot of ways it's a win now attitude, but you do have to get older as you go. And we are getting older, but we still got that youthful inexperience.
Derek, I know you made mention going into the RIT series that perhaps it was a little bit of a blessing in disguise to have the cancellation of the Canisius game the first time. How about this time? Does it have any effect? I know you're coming out of a lot of flu stuff going into that RIT series, so it might have bought you a couple days to get healthy. Any such concerns this time, or is it just a Tuesday night regardless of when you play it?
I think it's just a Tuesday night now. I think we were ready to play. We had a good practice on Monday. We were focused. We wanted to get back on after a disappointing Saturday night of not getting the result we wanted. It's sometimes good to play that game right away instead of let the loss linger a little bit. And they always say if you're going to split, you'd rather split on Saturday so you feel good all week. But So I really believe that I think that we're going to be fine one way or the other. It's everybody's battling something, whether it's injuries, whether it's the flu, whether it's a lot of travel. Canisius has 3 home games left. We've got 3 road games left. So it comes around everybody. I mean, don't look at the fact for us. They were on the bus to Erie 2 Tuesdays and had to turn around. They actually were packed and waiting for the bus last night on Tuesday night, or I'm sorry, Monday night, and it didn't show up. So they've had a little bit of issues as well. So it's not just one way. Both teams have to deal with it.
Derek, kind of a big picture question. You've been relying on 2 goaltenders for the most part, splitting starts, maybe not right down the middle, but they're both in the mix. Do you want to see that resolve itself before the postseason, or would you be content going into the playoffs and say, hey, maybe we'll use one night and another the next night?
I think we're playing goaltender by committee right now until we get save percentages consistently over 90. I think Croy's at 899 and Dylan's at 907. I think we need to go with who's hot and who wins, and that's kind of where it's at. You sometimes play matchups, but other than that, I think somebody's got to get hot. And if they knock off 3 or 4 in a row and then have one where they don't win, then it's a different story. But we're, once again, like our hockey team, we're a little inconsistent in goal as well.
What'd you like most about the Friday win against RIT? What did you like the least about the Saturday loss?
I loved our 60 minutes. I thought our 60 minutes was outstanding. I thought we were on our toes. We put pucks behind their D. We won battles. We won races. We were just faster than them. Saturday, I thought that we didn't come out connected. Basically the opposite of everything I just said about Friday. We scored on Friday. Saturday, we struggled to score. I thought we had a good third period, though. We still outshot them. The chances were a little bit in their favor on Saturday, but I mean, the chances were really in our favor on Friday. So we were the kind of the tale of 2 teams at that point, and we need to make sure that we're, like I said, a more consistent hockey team. And if we can do that, I think we've got a lot of room for this team to still grow and still climb. It's just about getting over that hump of being content with your performance, think it's going to be easy. And like I said to you a couple of times, you used the word prideful. RIT's won a lot of hockey games. I knew that they weren't going to lay down and call it a day. But that being said, we did have our chances to win the hockey game, and we were 2-2 halfway through, and we couldn't find a way to win that game.
Derek, one of the, I don't know if point of emphasis is the right word, but back when this was getting started, we were talking about the roster and how you felt like it was harder to get a spot in that lineup every night than it was maybe a year ago. But now you guys, like probably a lot of teams, getting a little banged up. How do you feel about your depth here going into kind of the stretch run of the regular season?
Well, I mean, we need some guys through our injuries to step up and play a more prominent role, and guys that have played a lot of hockey here. We got a goal from McKay Hayes. We need him to continue. George Coteras, I thought, was really good and created chances. We need him to start scoring. He had an assist, but he had a couple breakaways. We need him going. Cody Mons was good to see him get a goal on Friday. We need to get him going. And then there's going to be some guys that are going to be in and out of the lineup, and hopefully guys to be able to try to get themselves spots in the lineup like Connor Gorley, Adam O'Mara. But we need guys to just continue to step up. Walter Zacher hasn't scored a goal since before Christmas. Cameron Garvey hasn't scored a goal since before Christmas. He's got 2 assists. We need those guys. We need our big guns to be our big guns, and we need the bottom end, our third line, to continue to be better. And can't rely on Mitch Dielstra, Trent Wilson, Michael Felsing. Those guys have been pointing a lot lately. We need other guys to continue to step up. And, I think our D is doing a great job contributing. Our right side of our defense has been outstanding with Elliott and Craig and Van Wy. And then, then we're got to figure out a way to to use our depth on the left side.
Derek, you mentioned you're sick to death of doing scouting reports at Canisius. What's it look like for Army?
They're hot, man. They're a hot hockey team. They had scored 7 goals in their previous 8 games and come out and put up 22 on Mercyhurst. They won that series 22-2, basically 9-1 and 13-1. Then went out and had a unbelievable series this past weekend with all the pageantry of Air Force, to where they beat them in overtime the next night. And Brian Riley I really respect the job that Brian does. He's a good person and a friend, and we talk all the time. And they're playing their best hockey for him as he's retiring down the stretch. And we need to make sure that we're continuing to do the things that we need to do to be successful. But their work ethic is off the charts. They've got some young skill, and they've got an elite defenseman in Matt Kadowski, and a goalie that's J.J. Cataldo from Pittsburgh, that's kind of come out of the nowhere for them and taken the starting role from one of their older guys.
Derek, we started out talking about the standings and, trying to stay in 8th place, trying to get up to 5th place. It's got a little semi-pro feel, 4th place, Jackie Moon. How different is the feeling this year? I know you guys were trying to win last year every game, but to me, at least, last year was more about just getting back on the ice and playing a season. It feels, at least to me, that you're really playing for something this year. Is that kind of the way the team is approaching it, and how has that changed things?
Yeah, and we're disappointed that we leave some points on the table. We left some points on the table at Sacred Heart. We left some points on the table at Holy Cross in the last couple minutes. So those are 2 that would put us even higher in the standings. And like I said, our belief is we can play with anybody, beat anybody. It's just finding that way to climb higher and not give away points. We need to steal points, not give them away. And right now we've kind of given a few more away than we've stolen.
Have you seen Semi-Pro, and are you a Jackie Moon fan?
I have seen Semi-Pro, and I was going to use the comment back at you. Let's really try to win this one. From Slapshot, by the way.
Derek, how you feeling?
Our power play had been really good. We had a chance with 3 minutes left to try to get an equalizer. We didn't get the job done, but our power play has been in the top 15 all year. I think it hit a high water mark of 6. We had scored some off the rush at Arizona State. But I think that's pretty good. Our penalty kill was really good against Holy Cross. Was really good. The first game, we gave up one last game. I don't think it was anything other than just us being in the lane or blocking a shot and boxing out. So I do like our special teams. We want to be at a combined 103% between the 2. And that's, whether it's 20% on the power play and 80% on the penalty kill, but we're really close to that. 103, we looked at it last year. Everybody wants to be, the word is 100, but we looked at it last year, and high-level teams are 103 and above. And right now, as far as that goes, we're at 23% on the power play and 78.1 on the power play. So we're like right around a little over. I think we're at 101.5. So we're close to that, it's good. But we need to be a little bit higher, a little bit sharper. It's that gotta have it moment. And I know that we talked to our team about it. Dan Quinn with the Commanders talked about that, or talks about it all the time. And one of their players brought it up. And there's that moment in the game that you gotta have it. Whether you gotta have that save, whether you gotta have that block, whether you gotta have that clear on the penalty kill, or whether you gotta bury the puck around the net. And we've got to do a better job in that gotta have it moment.
So you're going with the Commanders moving forward?
You just go with stuff that you think that works, and it makes sense, doesn't it?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. I'm just wondering now if you're jumping on board the Commanders train the rest of the way.
Nah, I'm not on anybody's train. I'm just I want to see the best football game, and I think Philadelphia Buffalo could be a really good football game.
So do I. I'll give you, since you went NFL, I'll give you a little older school. Al Davis, just win, baby.
Exactly.
We'll tell you what, Derek, if we want to keep this going, I don't know if the Island Sports Center makes corn dogs or not, but we could have corn dog night if you do get close to fourth place.
Hopefully we get there. We want to play at home. We want to have a bye. We feel that we were picked last, and I think we're surprised. I wouldn't say surprising a lot of people, but I think a lot of people weren't expecting much from us, but we expect a lot from us, and we want to get in that first round bye. We think we're capable of it. It's just a matter of putting it all together and doing it.
Well, let's make that last series against Air Force the Mega Bowl, and the rest should take care of itself.
Thanks,
Sure.
Derek. Appreciate it. And we will do this again in the future. We'll check in time to time as the season rolls along here for all Colonial hockey fans. And a reminder, Army this weekend, and then we'll try for the third time Canisius on Tuesday next week, so Colonial fans can get a lot of hockey during the course of this 7-game homestand.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, this is Brian Riley's last regular season trip to the Island Sports Center. Army always draws a good crowd with the military aspect in Pittsburgh, and should be a good weekend of hockey. I think that we had great crowds last weekend against RIT.
Yeah, you had that Can-Am tournament. All those kids were in there and everything.
Yeah,
really.
let's follow that up this weekend with a great crowd again, and let's do this again next week.
All right, Derek Schooley, head coach of the RMU Colonials, with us here. Make sure you come by the Island Sports Center, and if you can't get there, you can watch us, as always, on Flow Hockey.